Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Myra from Low Carb Love, and today we're gonna be making a keto, dairy-free marble pound cake. It doesn't taste dairy-free. It's so perfect inside. The texture is still, you get the creaminess that you would get when you use butter, but there's no butter. I'm telling you, you have to make this cake. I'm gonna show you how easy it is, so let's get started. We're gonna get started with our vanilla cake, or the vanilla portion of our cake. Here we have our almond flour. And this is gonna be super simple. We're gonna toss everything into the bowl, and then, let me show you. Let's just do it together. So we have our almond flour, sweetener, and I use allulose sweetener. Remember, this is powder. You can use granular. If you don't have powdered and want to use powdered, all you have to do is put your sweetener into your blender, your food processor. Like I said, it's allulose. I'll link everything down below in my Amazon store. Then we have some baking powder, okay? And now we are going to give that a quick mix. I always like to mix my dry ingredients really quickly before I add my wet. So we'll make a little hole for them. And now let's add our eggs. Oh my God, these the yolks are so orange. Then we have our vanilla. Boom. We have a little oil. Okay. And now we're going to mix. So let's go ahead and give that a little mix. Okay, so let's go ahead and taste the batter. Make sure that, good. You wanna just make sure that it's sweet enough, before you move on, because obviously you wanna make sure it's to your liking. So here's our vanilla, and now we're gonna set this aside and move on to our chocolate. So we're gonna move on to our chocolate cake, our chocolate portion of the cake. I'm gonna go over all the ingredients as I'm just putting them in, okay? So again, we have our almond flour. And let me know, I wanna know how many of you guys are fine with almond flour. Are some of you guys allergic? Because we can always use coconut, but of course the recipe is completely different. So just know that you can never substitute one for one, like 1 cup of almond to 1 cup of coconut. You will literally ruin the whole recipe because they absorb liquid at very different rates, yeah. Very different rates. Okay, so we have our almond. Now we have our unsweetened cocoa powder or cacao. And this is like a Dutch process. I like the one, there's this one, it's a red can. I'll link everything. It's linked in my Amazon store. I feel like it's very, very rich, and it honestly does make a difference. So we have our almond flour, cocoa powder. We have a little bit of salt. We have our baking powder. And all of the measurements are going to be on my website at lowcarblove.com, where you can actually print out the recipe as well. Okay, so now we have our sweetener. This is our powdered sweetener. And we're gonna go ahead and throw that in there. But yeah, I started doing that because a lot of you wanted, you guys had to take a screenshot, and now you can actually print out the recipe, or at least just see it, step by step. Macros are there, everything's there for you. And not only are these recipes in there, but I have exclusive recipes that are nowhere else on the internet. So make sure that you check that out. So I don't know if you know this, but coffee or espresso, they actually really bring out the chocolate taste. So we're doing a little bit of instant coffee, and we're just gonna mix that in. And trust me, it does make a difference, but it's optional. Like if you don't have it and you're like, I really wanna make this recipe and I don't have it, you can still make it. It's still gonna turn out. It's just for that richness. So our eggs, let's go ahead and throw these in. So we have our eggs. Now we have our vanilla. And you can use vanilla, you can use maple, you can use extract, you can use flavoring, really whatever you have on hand. This is almond milk. You can also use water if for whatever reason, you don't have it, or, you can use water, just so you know. And then we have a little bit of oil. So we tried to make this portion of it almost, actually dairy-free. So now let's go ahead and give this a little mix. And we're gonna move on to the next step. All right guys, so here's our vanilla and our chocolate. I tasted both already. I did have to adjust the tiny bit of sweetness to the chocolate, but now they're perfect. So just make sure you always taste your batters before you bake them, because if you don't like them before they go into the oven, you're not gonna like them when they come out. Now they're perfect, so we're gonna move on to the next step. So let me show you. So we already lined our little loaf pan, and I will link everything below if you guys don't already have one. Lined it with some aluminum. In case you're wondering why we add the aluminum, it actually just helps slow down the baking process so that it doesn't burn and so that it just cooks a little slower. And then for the parchment paper, it's so that we can get it out easily and it doesn't stick. So we're gonna start off with a little oil, little avocado oil, and that's just for like to help the parchment stick. Okay, and now this is what it's gonna look like. We're gonna spray a little more avocado oil. And you can spray whatever you have. You can spray whatever you have. If you have, you know, like a baking oil or whatever, you can use that. But I use avocado just because it's clean and it also has a really high smoking point. So to create the more of a like marbly effect, we're gonna go in layers. You don't have to. I mean, you can throw in, you know, obviously it's going in one place, but we're gonna try and do a vanilla. Let's go. All right guys, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start to layer our cake. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the vanilla. We're gonna do a thin layer just like this. And now we add the chocolate on top. So you don't have to do the swirls, but you know, it's marble cake. So I'm gonna try to make it look pretty. We're just gonna layer. Okay, and I use my small pan, so we're gonna make a little mini one on the side. But if you have a big one, then of course you can use all your batter. This is the final product. It turned out beautiful, like a professional chef. And you wanna make sure that your oven is preheated at 350 degrees before you finish. So let's get our cake out. I opened the door a little too soon, so it did sink in, so make sure you don't open it so this doesn't happen to yours. It's still gonna be delicious. All right guys, so let's go ahead and pull out our cake. Let's go ahead and move this out of the way. Look at how beautiful this looks. I love the crust that it got. I love like the muffin tops. So this is perfection. How does that look? Oh my gosh, I almost forgot the taste test. This is actually my favorite part of the entire video. And I don't know if you can see this, but it has like a really, really nice crust. I am that person that loves, I take off the tops of all like my muffins. So this has like a really great crust on top, and I think that it gets it from the oil. Honestly, it's perfection. Let's take a bite. Oh my gosh. The crust, the texture. I just want to let you know that this can be made as a cake or as a pound cake, but the bottom line is that it's delicious. So you have to make it. Trust me, you have to make this. If you miss cake, if you are new to keto, if you're just trying to cut back on sugars, cut back on your dairy, you can have a dessert that's absolutely delicious, that's also dairy-free. So let me know, comment down below, do you guys want me to like think of more dairy-free, gluten-free? Most of my recipes are already gluten-free, but mostly dairy-free. Let me know if you guys want to see more recipes, because I will definitely get on that. I just don't know how many of you are really, you know, trying to watch your dairy, but I'm more than happy because you know that I am. But these recipes are for you, so let me know. Make sure you comment down below. All right, guys, so that's it. I hope you love this recipe. Make sure you tag me, and I will see you on the next one. Love you guys. Mwah.